Okay, testing 1, 2, 3, just speaking normally. We're at 10, 60, and 100 for the audio settings.
Career mode off. I still can't get over how beautiful this airplane is.
Okay, and that's Betty. Now, turn that off. Okay, set up my little views here. Co-pilot, flight engineer. Okay, throttles are all wonky. Okay, move these windows to my second screen. That's the crew reports we just moved. This is the controls. And this is where you set the engineer, live engineer. I'm going to be doing the engineer for a while, but when we get to flying, that's going to be fully automatic. Okay. I'll turn the ignition off there. How did that get? Okay. Now we got full CO2, fire bottles, in case there's a fire. The oil is down, so I click that. Now it's up. De-icer is full too. Set the fuel to full. You're supposed to hear, but maybe that's only when you're in the cockpit. So, okay, what am I doing here? All right, there, something like that. Shift 4. Yeah, okay, so that's working. And okay, I'm going to check my engines. So excellent, 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 excellent in the maintenance hangar, and pressurization, heating, and air AC is okay. So we'll get that gone. Now we'll load up the passengers in a second. I'm just going to flip out. This is the, quickly, I bought Fly Tampa, which I always thought had something to do with Tampa Airport, but actually they make a couple of different airports, and they make a really good Toronto one. And there's an application where you can change some of the settings. I kind of set it up for you the best I thought I could so that your frame rates weren't too low. So maybe you don't want to fiddle with that, but there's a few things you can turn on and off. I think most of it I got turned on that are kind of cool. But anything that kills your frame rates, I turn that off. Okay, and this is on my computer, not yours, so my computer kind of sucks actually, even though it's newer. So the only thing is the frame rates are quicker around this, but sometimes it just dies. Oh, look at this. Okay, this is going to be bad. Because now when you buy third-party terrain and stuff, you end up with things that are kind of buried like this. There's our pushback vehicle or tractor or whatever you call it. And when things like, sometimes that won't appear, and when things like this happen, when it's actually good if it's not there, because that means now that there's going to be a couple of things that were going to come along, decide to smash into me and ruin all my work. Because they think I'm a jet plane. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to turn off the parking brakes and press Shift P for pushback before somebody decides to smash into me when I'm like halfway ready to take off, and then I have to do it all over again. And these planes didn't use the jetways anyway, these old planes. This is a Lockheed Martin Constellation. Okay. And it's flown by KLM. And this is, I bought it from A2A Simulations, but this guy did a free paint job, which you can download from different sites. And I think he did a really good job. So this plane is supposed to be the one that KLM flew out of Arnhem, which is in Dutch, okay, in the Netherlands. And you can also see the Flying Dutchman was actually, if I zoom in a little bit, a name for a ship. You can see it there, sort of. And instead of one big giant rudder, they take the surface area and spread it out over 3 smaller rudders. And you need the giant rudder for when this is flying slowly, so it gives you better control. Okay, now I'm going to press Shift P, and I'm going to try to remember to turn my park brakes on with control period. Okay, and for whatever reason, this guy kind of backs up and zigzag and takes forever, so this is just as well. Now we're on Number 6. That's what this line is. So we're blocking it, but I don't care. Okay. And you can see the run airport. I got Air Canada over there. They got their power plant with the steam coming out of it, or the exhaust, or whatever it is. See all kinds of cool things here. They have all the firefighting stuff over there and things. Okay, this what we just backed away from. Actually, that's as far as I can tell. They use different numbers. Maybe there's different sets of numbers. This is 140 here. I think that's, as far as I can tell, it's the same one they use for flying to Newfoundland, Air Canada. Anyway, that's why I put it there. Alright, that's the tower. I'll hop back inside. Okay, I'm going to do this really quickly so you can get some kind of idea of how you would fly an old-fashioned airplane. Because you will have to know how to deal with engines. So, okay, okay, up on top, da-da-da-da. Okay, so, just looking at a few things, making sure they're all the right way. Now, there's no, can't hardly move anything because there's no hydraulics working. This plane is totally hydraulics, not cables like the old style. Okay, as far as I know, I'm going to check the trim now. I'm going to follow something like the flight checklist. So 0 degrees trim. For takeoff, they say 5, but plus 5, but that's kind of crazy, so I'll just put it at 1 degree. That's what I like. Rudder tab 0, aileron tab 0. Okay? So, now, what are we going to do? Okay, so we'll take over as the flight engineer. I'm going to leave the radio off. That's over here. Avionics is off. Now we're going to check all our fuel stuff here. So our fuel engine tank cutoffs are open. That's good. Cross feeds are turned off. We have our fuel valves for the engines. They're all open. And the dump valves are closed. So that's good. And we will make sure our superchargers are turned off. We have our carburetor set on cold. When our throttle set at about 10 or 11. Okay, that one's just sort of jiggling in between two. I'm not using the joystick throttles. I bought my own, so I can control one at a time. Because with just a joystick, you can't steer. With the one that's, okay, that's all 11. With the one that comes with the joysticks that we both have, you can't steer this plane properly the way they used to. Because they steer by engines. Okay, so now let's make sure our engine mixtures are turned off and everything's set here. Okay, so the first thing, okay, I'm going to put the cylinder heads on 3 because that's usually the one that's hottest. You look at it there with this guy, cylinder head temperature, and I'm going to put the voltage on battery. I'm going to hook up a ground power unit, so I'll turn that on with the little control panel. You can't see how he magically appeared. Okay, that saves our battery. But you can't start it without that. So now, I'm going to go through this kind of quickly, because I've already done this like 2 times, and then Nan called, and you can barely hear me, and sometimes I'm like a chipmunk, so we're going to hope this works this time. Master battery on. Here the whining, everything is coming on. Okay, all our lights are on. I'm going to check anti-icer fluid full, hydraulic reservoir full, oil quantities for each engine full, and each engine 1, 2, and 3, and 4 fuel good full. Okay, I'm going to run through flight pilot warning lights. They're all working. The flight engineer warning lights. They're all working. Okay, step back in the middle. We're going to check up here. It's called the fire panel test switch. Okay, just that's a second is good enough for that. Okay, now for a prop pitch with the old planes, a lot of planes only have what they call a constant speed propeller. They don't change. Just what you have is what you have. With these older planes, you can actually change the RPM on each propeller individually. So for takeoff, you got to make sure that here I am trying to turn them up. Now there's 4 switches there for each propeller, or you can use this what's called a gang switch, and see how I'm turning that on and off. Okay, and there's a little tiny switch right here. I'll go over to the pilot that the pilot controls all the propellers too, or probably the co-pilot will, right? And you can control them that way. I got that hooked up to my throttle bank. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it up, and we should see our, this is on the checklist, we should see, we're back into the seat for the engineer. You should see the prop pitch limit lights light up after a while. Come on. Outside temperature is 17, there. So I'm doing this with the pilot right now, because I don't want to hold it forever. I'm just going to double check, yeah. Okay, and then you can see like I'm gonna gang switch it, and look, I'll let go of the gang switch. Click, they're gone. Okay, so that's good. So we're full on there. Okay, now turn on the auxiliary fuel pump or the fuel boost. You see all the engines. The fuel boost is in the green now, and our little lights are out. So that's good. Then we're going to go to opening the cowl flaps, up and bottom. See them opening up outside. See them slowly opening. Okay, top and bottom. So when you don't need very much cowl flaps. The plane is at 30,000 feet and you're flying. But when you're on the ground, you need them fully open to keep the engines from overheating. So that's what that's about. So we got all this set. Our oil cooler flaps are set to auto. Emergencies are open. Generators you want off. Your generators should get bed up unless you're running at about, I think it's supposed to be 1200 on this plane. Different planes are different though. So these generators, we won't turn them on until we get the engines going a bit. And the other trouble with some of the really old generators is that, like with the B-17s, they think they want to be at 1500 RPM. So they tend to just run on batteries, and then you could actually run out of brakes and things because your generators, your battery was getting less and less. So you lose your hydraulic pump and things like that. So it was crazy. You had to be very careful. Okay, so I'm going to turn on the master environment controls, body heater, cabin cooling and heating and stuff, and ground blower. Got a ground blower. Okay, normally I turn on the avionics so you can hear the air traffic control, but I don't want to be hearing it talking all the time. Okay, so I'm going to try to speed this up a little bit. Auto Pitot heat for your, just so that your airspeed sensor, which is that little thing that's sticking out in the front of the plane, see right down here, I think that might be it. Do you see it there? No, I'm not sure. Yeah, that's them. See them there? Two guys. So you don't want them freezing up, and you don't know how fast you're going. But I just turn it on out of habit. Sometimes you don't need to turn it on because, it's going to be warm until you get to 30,000 feet. And even 30,000 feet, depending upon the humidity, blah, 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 you might not need it. Anyway, strobe heat, strobe light, in fact, my beacon light, turn them on. Okay, and then we're going to go and turn on our master ignition switch, and our magneto switches are all off right here. They're down and off. I'm going to turn on the windshield heater. That way we won't fog up, and it also makes the window more supple, so it's less likely to break. Okay, so now I'm going to tell Betty, shift 4, start loading all passengers.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention? We are about to start boarding the aircraft, so please report to the gate.
Ground Mr. Captain, we are just loading up now.
Now, once they open up stuff, our door light is lit up, so you can tell the door lit up, so they're loading things. Don't want to fly with your door open. So we look outside, you see the stairs are coming up and down. There's nothing fancy. Here's Betty welcoming all the passengers. And, they just have to walk up there and throw things in by hand. Okay, whoops, I'm going to do that back. Okay, there we go, get that inside. And you can hear people as they load. Okay, so I think we're all set up almost. Now, I'm going to put the fire extinguishers on engine number 1, and here's your pull for first CO2 bottle and a second CO. So you got 2 to play with if there's a fire. All right. Okay, so yep, we're set that way. So now, what am I forgetting? No, I think we're good. Okay, every engine's got a little tiny inertia wheel because you can't start it up just running on batteries. You got this little tiny wheel spinning really fast, and then there's enough momentum that it can actually make the propeller spin against the cylinder. So get that going. And with 17 degrees, we don't need very much priming to start this engine. So we got to prime the engines. Okay, here we go. Here the wheel's spinning up, nothing's happening outside. Because it's just a little tiny wheel, well, you know, a wheel inside of this engine. Now we're going to give it a couple seconds of priming on number 1. Here we go, now we're going to engage. I'm going to wait for like a full 3 propeller revolution, 3 blades. That's already a lot more. If I just sit here, it's just going to die. So you're losing the inertia out of the wheel. The wheel's making that spin now. So I'm going to turn off the gauge and let the inertia go back up to the wheel. Okay, now we're going to, I'm going to hold the prime properly. Okay, couple blades, full magnetos. Now we got some fire, some spark, make the catch. Probably got this thing. Oh, it's going to catch. It's going to catch. Might have this thing floated. Yeah, something going to happen. Let's turn off the priming. Old cantankerous, old-fashioned engines. Okay. It's a good thing I'm not running on batteries. Okay. Good. Inertia. Turn off the magnetos. Grab the fire. I'm not going to let it run very long at all. Pick it up this time. Okay. Prime. Engage. 1, 2, 3, steady. Magnetos. What's the final left? Okay, the engine cut. Okay. Now we give a full auto rich for mixture and turn off the priming before the engine floats. Okay, it's going to catch here. We have 30 seconds. The oil pressure to be up in the green. Rear pump and front pump, so they're good. And that's the right RPMs. Okay, and the quiz is probably going to be on soon now, so we'll let that happen. And there's our oil in temperatures, oil out temperatures, carburetor air temperatures, fuel flow, a little tiny bit there.
Craft crew to Captain. Cargo is loaded and we are shutting the door now.
See, our light has gone out for the door. There it is right there. Okay, Betty's probably still loading people on. Okay, so I'm going to go with number 2, inertia
Cabin
repair.
is sealed.
Okay, so you can let me know that everybody's on. Okay, a couple seconds of priming on number 2. And you get 3 blades, full with magnetos.
Have your attention please, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Debbie and I'm your head stewardess for the flight today. I'm supporting from safety and emergency procedures. You'll find a
Full auto,
back of the seat
and turn off priming.
To fasten your seatbelt, simply slip the strap through the buckle and pull until secure.
Okay, and all
Please
our
keep your
pressures
seatbelt
good.
fastened until the captain has turned off the seatbelt sign. Also, smoking is only permitted when the no smoking sign is off. Please stay in your seats unless you need to use the restroom. If you need assistance, I or any
Gotta go on to
of
number
the
3.
will be happy to help. In the event of a water landing, there are life jackets throughout the cabin.
Oh look, and I'm forgetting,
I
I should have had this on too. I'm losing my job. Now it's on number 3 in case there's a fire and the engine won't be started.
Emergency exits located throughout the cabin. We are all here to ensure you have an enjoyable flight. Welcome aboard the Queen of the Skies.
Prime, 1 and 2, engage. Okay, full magnetos.
Everyone is welcome back. We're good to go.
Pressure okay.
Full auto rich mixture. And turn off the priming before the engine floods, dies on us. Okay, and everything's in the green. Lights are all out. Okay, now this one you can see the propeller spinning. Okay, wheels on a bit. So it's number 4, inertia. I'm going to switch over to number 4 in case there's a fire. Someone need to be checking. It was cold, we need a lot more priming. It was a lot more warmer, we probably hardly need any. So a couple seconds. Okay. 1, 2, 3. And 4. Continuous. Catch your comments.
Pressure is rising.
Rich.
Hello from the flight deck. It's nice to have you with us today. You picked great weather to go flying, so sit back and enjoy the flight. If there's anything we can do to make your stay with us more enjoyable, let us know. We'll be happy to assist. Just make sure your seatbelts are fastened and enjoy the flight.
Okay, now the temperatures comes from the engine, so all this is going to be working. Passengers should be happy now. Okay, okay, we can disconnect the GPU for now. So turn that off. It's gone, 0 volts. Just running on battery. See, he's gone. There's nothing going on. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to check that our fuel's going good. Turn off the boost pumps. And fuel's still in the green here. So I'll turn them back on. So usually use them when you're taking off and landing on these old planes. You have to wait now for the temperatures to get up to 40 degrees before you can do anything. The engines are too cold. I'll show you a couple things while we're waiting. If I turn the throttles here down, so that, say, engine number 1 is going to run at, see that light's coming on, so it doesn't like that, it's going to go red. Say at 600 RPM, it's going to foul up the engines, and slowly, it's going to lose RPMs and die. So our flight engineer should be complaining a little bit. The other thing is, if you don't turn off the priming, say I put priming on for number 4, it's going to flood the engine, it's going to start dying. Maybe the priming won't come on now because it's already started. Anyway, I often forget to turn the priming off, and I wonder why my engine went kaboom. It stopped, correct? Yeah, it's probably not turning on priming at all here. And that's just a bit of extra gas to get the engine started. See how we're losing? 600. It's going down slowly. And after a while, it's going to be so much that this engine's going to die. I'm waiting for the flight engineer to tell me that we're idling too low. I'm going to say, still waiting for 40 degrees here. If we look at your cylinder head temperatures, they're coming up. They don't matter. It's only when you're flying that you gotta keep them. Okay, I don't want to power the spark plug, so I'll raise up the off. Now, if I put this back the same as all the other throttles, that's where it is now, number 1. Look at that. It's probably still going to die. It's still too low. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to burn off all this fouling. I'm going to run this a lot harder than the other ones. Even though I should be at, but this one's up at 50, right? Engine number 1, yeah, so we're good. We can do that. Just going to run that up a bit crazy for a bit. So otherwise, when I put it back down, it's going to die. So it's about the same as the other engine. See where it goes to. It won't be at 1100. But I want it over like 800, otherwise it's going to die on me. Okay? So now, yeah, that's pretty good. So that's going to gradually creep up after a bit, but hopefully back up to 1100. So our rear pump and front pump. Okay. airplane's going down. This is nasty. What's going on?
Can't do me now. Spark plugs if we don't regular idle.
Yeah, okay. So I need to burn off a lot more of that. And if it's right up there, we're good. See how the cylinder head temperatures are going crazy. So I have, no, okay. Park brakes are on. One plane is shaking. Okay, there you go. Come back now. Other thing is, you can't just go up. It's not like a car, because cars are designed for small, like cars, a small engine, this is a big engine. And you can't just go up and down without causing problems. You cause something that's called detonation or backfiring. And you'll heat up the cylinders in your engines if you do that. So you can't be too quick going up and down with your throttles. Okay, that solved that. Everything's good there now. So that's a little lesson on priming, sort of, and throttles, and idle speeds, okay? Now I'm going to look at the cylinder head temperatures. This is the cylinder number 1 in all the engines. So engine number 1, cylinder number 1. Engine number 2, cylinder number 1. Engine number 3, cylinder number 1. Engine number 4, cylinder number 1. And I can look at cylinder number 2 in all the engines, a little bit lower. Depends if they're above or below or how much air is blowing on them. And I find that this plane, number 3 is usually the hottest cylinder. Number 4 in all the engines, a little bit lower. So put back in number 3. Okay, look at that, we're losing our volts a little bit. Okay. So, what are we at? Yeah, we're pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to roll it up to, I'm going to follow the checklist a bit. The checklist is not totally understandable to me. So I'm going to do a lot of stuff like a B-17. But running at 1500, and I'm going to check that my propellers, there we go, just nudging it up. Let's check that my propeller pitch is actually going to change. I'm going to do it with a pilot switch instead of these 4 down here. And I'm going to wait for the pitch limit lights to come on low, and hopefully this will swing back down to about 1100 RPM. That'll prove that my propeller pitches are changing. You don't want to take off with your propeller stuck or not working or something like that. So the engineer would do this. Here we go. Here we go, prop pitch limit, so we're at the lowest propeller pitch. The propeller blades will actually turn, alright? Okay, so that's good. Now I'll put this back up. I'll just turn the switch and turn them back up. Wait for the propellers to get full pitch now. Okay, this little guy here, he's the synchroscope. Why is that number? I'm trying to zoom in. See? Synchroscope. So, engine number, okay, proper pitch limit is back. So, I'll put that back in the middle. Switch for the pilot. You can see our fuel flow has gone up. So, engine number 1 is the reference engine. And this will tell you 2, 3, and 4. And what? If it's going this way, like the arrow says, that engine 2 is a little faster than engine number 1, which you can see. And engine 3 and engine 4, they're going the other way, so they're a little bit slower than engine number 1. Engine number 1 is like 1600, and engine number 2 is like a little bit less. Sorry, yeah, engine number 1 is a little bit faster, 1500. Engine 2 and 3 are a little bit slower. So what the engineer would do as they're flying, he would play with all these propeller switches a little bit up, a little bit down. You'll hear them go crazy doing that. Make sure that these little guys stop moving. And you know, all the engines, without even having to look at these dials, you can do it pretty quickly. You know that all the engines are at the same RPM. Propellers are at the same RPM, I should say. And then your plane is going to be flying pretty good. Like if you had like engine number 1 at 3000 RPM and engines number 2, 3, and 4 at 300 RPM, your plane would fly straight. So you got to kind of even them out. That's what that's about. Okay, that's another good lesson. Okay, So now we got everybody going, we got full temperature. Now I'm going to check for superchargers, which is, I don't understand what the heck they're saying. But and you also would do this one engine at a time. I'm doing like 4 engines at a time. And with this one, I'll do it 1 engine at a time, and then I'll forget about engine number 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to start bringing up the throttle. Then you're supposed to turn on the supercharger, and as it goes through 1800, turn it back. And yeah, so I mean that happens so fast, I don't know what's going on. So something like that. And maybe you're supposed to start off from on, so I'm going to bring back the on with this next one. 811 So if I bring it up, as I'm passing through, say 1400, if I turn on the supercharger, it goes crazy. As it goes up to 1800 or more, I turn it back. And then that's where my throttle stops at. So then I bring it back. Maybe that's what they do anyway. Use that at high altitude, it's like extra compression, get more air into your engine. Okay, so that's good.
More pressure's okay.
Okay, I just noticed that my physical nav was not set correctly. Now we're back. Okay. For my fuel mixture. So you always have your fuel at full auto rich, unless you're trying to be in cruise mode, and then you put it like in the middle, like that. And that's cruise or lean. There we go. And there it's there. Okay, what's going on that guy? Give him a little bit of throttle there. It will catch.
More pressure okay.
I hope he doesn't die on me. Misbehaved himself there. Okay. So you can see the engines are a little bit tricky to play with. Okay, now that we're, okay, yeah, the other thing that you want to do now is check the magneto. So that you go up to 2200 RPM or 30 inches on the manifold pressure. Uh-oh. Oh, I hope it doesn't crash. I clicked on a silly button on this stupid fancy mouse. Get back to that. Don't crash on me. Computer, don't crash. Oh, look, it did crash. Ah! Okay, I'll be back. Oh, I can't pause. Okay, well, this is silly. Accidentally touched that tiny button you can hardly see on the mouse, and it does that. That's Windows for you. This is going to take forever for this to get back. Yeah. Hopefully I'll edit this out. So. Okay, it's coming back kind of quick actually. Hurry up, Flight Simulator X, Steam Edition. Okay, there it is. And for flight. My trouble is I have to load this up. I'm going to cheat a little bit when I do get this back. Okay, come on, come on, come on. I'm trying to do this quickly, but it's not working. Fly now. My fancy computer is not really all that fast here. Not with Flight Simulator, because it's only 32-bit, it's not 64-bit. So it's always running out of memory because it's only a 32-bit program. Okay, 666. It stays stuck on loading terrain data for a long time. Come on, come on. And there's no way to save all the silly windows, so you have to reset them all. There used to be a way, but then Microsoft changed everything, and now nobody can do that. So I have to do that again now. 666. Come on, 6%. Come on, come on, come on. Hurry up, hurry up. Boink, 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 boink. Okay, this is going quicker now, so I've already done it. Get stuck on 80 for a little bit while it adjusts all the scenery objects and does a couple other things. And now it's going to speed up after 82 or 83 or something. Listen to the weather. There we go. Now slowly it will bring this up. Okay, there we are. I'll hop back inside.
Good afternoon, Captain.
Career mode off. Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello, Betty. Good afternoon.
Nice to see everyone's looking so dapper.
Yes, Betty. Okay, this is all set. So F2, put my crew reports over here. F3, controls. Did I mention? Yes, if I click on this, the engineer will take over. I'm going to do that to speed things up a bit. Shift F5, my maps. Put my maps over here. And tick or backwards tick, apostrophe, that's my ATC menu. Okay, so, and we got our parking brakes on. Look at that, everybody's there. So before somebody smashes into me, I'm going to turn off my parking brakes, press Shift P to get this guy to push me back. Because eventually one of these luggage guys is going to move and he's going to smash into me. So you're like 10 minutes trying to get this plane started and then he decides to get you. So just wait here for this. Well, I don't have to wait completely. I'll go back inside. And I'm going to tell the engineer to do stuff, speed it up a bit.
Yes, sir.
Now, see that?
Electronics on.
So he's going to do a few things now. When I'm flying, I can do it myself, but for this, I'll let the engineer do it all.
Booster pumps on.
Oops, ooh, must move my joystick. Oh, okay, cylinder head, I'll put that on. Some stuff you control still, and he does nothing, like the throttle and that. I'll put this on main.
10 cow flaps.
Remember, you need them fully open on the ground. Oh yeah, he does this, doesn't he?
Master your set.
Try turning off that so I don't have to hear the air traffic control. He'd probably turn it back.
Body heater on.
Yes,
Well,
but
system check.
I'm on a flight
Ground
ground. We'll
blower
turn that
on.
off. No, well, she's going to turn it back on. As soon as I turn it back, they'll turn it back on. I bet you. Anyway, I still got the ground blower and the heating and stuff. Wow, I turned it on, didn't I? Yes.
Sir, all systems are ready.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to turn on the auto start, so he'll start it up for me.
Oil pressure is rising.
So he wants to see that the oil pressure gets up there in 30 seconds, right?
Oil pressure okay. Oil pressure is rising. Oil pressure is okay.
So all I did there was I pressed the auto start. Oh yeah, the Sperry autopilot. That's what I'm using. That's the old-fashioned autopilot that they really use, and it doesn't do much. It just, if you wanted to go at 500 feet per minute climb, you got to guess. Okay. I'll turn these trucks on and not quite balanced. There we go. Okay, okay, it's time to stop this. Look at that. Look where you got me pushed to. Right out in the middle of nowhere. Okay. And see how he zigzags back? That's crazy. Okay. Yeah, back inside. I'm gonna hop into the pod. Okay. I was just gonna spoil things if I just flew or press Y. Oh, look back. Oh, it really spoiled it. I'm surprised it didn't explode. Why does it do that? It shouldn't be moving at all. Unless it's hooked up to my throttle somehow, weird things happen. Anyway, this is not what I want. I'm just going to give the throttles here a bit. Hopefully I don't smash into something here.
Setting cow flaps.
50.
trust this. Okay. That's the flight engineer going crazy. Okay. Let's look some forward down to that. Okay, yeah, we need a bit more throttle. Let's start the dog. Get up to 1,000. Oh, what's going on? That's why it's doing that. Okay, I'm going to put the park brakes back on. Okay, the other thing that I'm going to turn off this guy, live engineer.
Fire, sir. Yeah, sir.
Okay, turned off the three things that he normally controls. Now, if I was doing this myself, what do we do? Yeah, we're up to 2,230 inches for the silly magneto check. Here we go. Okay, so gets to 2,200 long before it gets to 30 inches manifold. It's only 28 or something, 27 manifold, or 2,200 over here. Now I'm going to feed the magneto switches. I'm going to press magneto M right. You can see them all, right? So you do this one engine at a time. Not being lazy. So, like all this. So, magneto's right. We have a little drop because now we're only running half magnetos. And you'd be listening to see if the engines are running off or going or anything like that. Magneto's left. Everything's pretty good. You'd be listening, right? You're looking at the engines. And, yeah, so I think it's supposed to be within 100. This thing doesn't change very much. And there we go. Now, if you're not sure what outside air temperature will do, you run them up for 2 to 3 seconds at full. So,
Sir, our flaps aren't set for takeoff.
got it. Okay. Now, press pause. See now, this is the torque or the pressure inside the engine with the oil giving torque. You don't want. That's the thing you got to make sure it's not too much. Like that. Now the real engineer would have this done already because it's only 2 or 3 seconds. You should. Now see, a manifold pressure is just below red. And our RPMs are as much as they're going to be. They're out of the red. And fuel flow is maximum. But our torque is the thing. Now, if you look at our throttles, they're only 97, 96, 95, right? So that's the most that, you know, I could a little tiny bit more. I'm going to play with them here. See what happens. Press pause again. Alright, so I mean that's the most you'd want. But if it was like minus 20, you probably could only get 30 inches before this torque would go. Because the engines run on temperature difference. That's how they work. So I'll put this cylinder head selector back on 3. Put that down. Not too quick, we don't want it to backfire. Okay, you can notice the engineer turned on our generators, and amps are good. They're all the same. It's all balanced. Now I can look at it. Engine number 4, yeah, nice voltage. 3, yeah, 2. Generator on engine number 1, yeah. Battery is still half decent. Put it back on main. Now with the old B-17s, you couldn't. You had to keep your engines at 1,500 RPM or something silly to run the generators, so they didn't usually do that, so they wouldn't run the generators until just before takeoff, and you have to depend upon their battery. If you're too long, your battery would go flat, and you lose your hydraulic pump, and you lose your brakes. Oh my. There's lots of stuff to worry about. So, this guy is not so bad. I think it's 1,100 or something. Okay, so, I'll just leave it like this. We're going to keep the engines 2 and 3 in the middle. They say you steer with the inner engines. That seems wrong to me. So I'm going to steer with engines 1 and 4. You can't steer with the rudder with this, but that's not supposed to happen. So there's some kind of weird thing they got done. You know, the rudder would only steer when you get up to some kind of airspeed. So now I'm going to call ATIS to see what the weather's like.
Toronto Airport information, Juliet, 1658 Potomac.
I'm going to turn some few things there now. We got to turn back on.
No clouds below 20,000. Temperature 15, flight 5, altimeter 2992. ILS, runway 6, right ILS, runway 6, left 10 ILS, runway 5 in use. Landing and departing, runway 6, right, runway 6, left and runway 5. CFR aircraft redirection of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have Juliet. Toronto Airport information, Juliet, 1658.
So we have Juliet, but by the time, okay, this is the autopilot stuff, but I'm looking, oh, we got suction there, we have suction there, so that means our engine suction is working. And a lot of your controls depend upon that, so that's another thing that you would have done, because I'm totally messed up because I pressed that mouse button by accident, but I'm really messed up here. Okay, that's the outside of your temperature. There's your hydraulic pressure, that's good. Your de-icer pressure. You're checking your autopilot oil pressure. Make sure all that's going to work. There's another suction there. And your pilot will be checking to see that all these instruments for the suction works and that your attitude indicator is correct, your gyros are uncaged, and all this kind of stuff, right? Unless this one is the de-icer again. Okay, so now I'm going to turn on the seatbelts and stuff, right? That's turned off. Now, see, something's wrong. Maybe you should say seatbelts and things, right? Okay, and now the other thing that I forgot about, so my checklist is screwed up. Got park brakes emergency. Now we're gonna, that's our normal brake pressure, 1698, and now our emergency brakes are coming up slowly. Okay, and make sure our landing gear is down, yeah. Check our controls too, right? Left, right, all this good stuff, motors, whatever. See outside, they're all doing that thing too, right? Down, down, okay. So I'm not going to worry about this too much. It takes a long while to get to fully. I'll wait till it gets like 1500 or something. Yeah, so now put it back on normal brakes. Brake selector, normal. Okay. I don't know what that is now solvent. Oh yeah, and the other thing we should have checked is our flaps. Put full flaps down. This will mess up the takeoff.
Flaps down.
So now they're going to say, stewardesses get ready for takeoff. We're not doing anything. Or that could be totally messed up now. Say, these are the old-fashioned types of flaps, so they're not like jets, right? Okay, so now we're fully down, I'll put it back. Let me look at the checklist, see what I forgot.
Flaps up.
Hydraulics, emergency brake, flaps, yeah. Check the supercharger. Check the props, RPMs, good. And check our engines at full, in case we didn't know. We're warmed up. Okay, yes, our tabs. They're probably messed up there, right? Yeah, so put that back down +1. And nobody ever touches these, so they're at 0, whatever elevators. Okay. And all our stuff is good there. And that's all good, switches are all good. Okay. And back elevators. Okay, and what the flight engineer never seems to do is set your prop pitch limits, but he did. Okay, so we're good. Or something happened there. So everything looks good now. So now when we call, we got Juliet by now, some other thing is like Mike now. So We're going to call tower for taxi and straight up.
Ground, locking on Hotel Tango Delta Alpha with Kilo. Request taxi to the active straight out departure. Locking on Hotel Tango Delta Alpha. Taxi to and hold short of runway 6. Locking between taxiway 9 or Alpha Mike Victor Echo Delta. Contact tower 118.7 when ready. Taxi to and hold short runway 6. Left using taxiway 9 or Alpha Mike Victor Echo Delta. Locking Tango Delta Alpha.
Now I'm going to bring this over. See what the ATC says. When he says Alpha, unless you got a map, when he says Alpha Mike, you don't know if that's Alpha and then Mike or if it's Alpha Mike and then it's Victor and so on, right? So, oh yeah, so I'm going to turn on the progressive taxi so I can see. So we're at 9. Normally we start at 6, but where everything went kablooey there. See where we got to go. And then we're going across and all that. So this is sort of the normal way he routes me, but normally I'm back over here somewhere or something. Now this is going to be kind of hard with this plane because it's hard to turn this around. Unless I cheat and use the rudders, which aren't supposed to work the way they got them. So now, let's turn this down. Now we got all our engines running fast enough barely for the generators to work. Now we're going to check our brakes. That's what we usually do. But just 1 and 4 is what we're going to use to make this plane go. See how they're going? And we got our hydraulic pressure is good on 1 and 4. And we pretend that we check 2 and 3. It's the same thing that the flight engineer would see too, right? Now our brakes work 1. So you just flight engineer, he'd be looking at that too. Say, oh look, 1 and 4, they're out. All the other lights are out too, so that's good. Alright, so now I'm going to go up to 1 and 4. Try to get this plane moving. You got to get it moving a little bit, otherwise it just slides to the stop. But then once you get it going a certain amount, then you can put the throttles back. And I'm going to put number 4 up and try to turn left. And you're not, all these old planes, you don't use very much brake. Try not to. If you get it to turn, I'm going to have to use some brake. Because otherwise it speeds up way too much. Or you run the engines too hot. So, you know, you can't win. Okay. See how much this is, you know, it's not too bad, but it doesn't turn like modern planes. Putting down the left brake there. A little bit. You want to slow down a bit too. You get a nice view of the airport anyway. You want to go too crazy here. I probably lost my pilot's license for saying you're going too fast and you're flying into, look at that, they're going over roads. Anyway, here we go. $1,500 is probably too much for these engines. Okay, we're getting back to track number 9. It's hard for me to control things because the seat I got has wheels. Every time I do anything, I push myself back. My knees stick up into this silly thing. Okay, I'm going to stop this because last time I made a mistake. Those engines 2 and 3 probably want to be back now. About 1,200. And I should turn the generator off for them, but I won't bother. I could leave the gens on for 1 and 4s. Okay, now I can control it a bit better. That's what I find anyway. There we go. If you're going a certain speed, I can turn the throttles back. Now steer up my engines. But not too quick because you get detonation, right? So number 1's going up. And I'm bringing it down. Number 4. But now we're starting to speed up way too much. So, you know, brake and so on. Okay, so what did they say I had to do? So let's go. Off the mic, right? This should be off the mic. See in the black somewhere there. Barely. Yeah, off the mic, right? I can do a lot more. Break there. Passengers are probably saying, "Oh, this is going on." But that seems to be turned off for some reason. I'm straight up good. So I hope they come back. On our rover, like I'm drunk or something. And it's way too fast. Let's talk about me, I'm crazy. Okay, Alpha Mike. I think we're on Victor already. I don't even know how we got there. Yeah. Runways are kind of weird when they do that. Okay. Now it should be Copod and everybody else should be looking for planes that are trying to land. Even though I got clearance, they still want to check, right? Try to line up on the other one here a bit. Here, looking from the tower. There we go. So this one here should be Echo coming up. You can see there, I'm not going to zoom in, but you can see the 2 arrows. Ron Victor is black and Echo. Left and right is Echo. Oh, I'm looking at that, who's tracking right now. Okay. Let's drop back a bit. It's kind of a sharp turn, so I might need some brake on some cars landing. The other way. Just back. Take my time, go slowly, I can keep right on the line. Anyway. Okay, now we're on Delta. So I never even looked for it. I know this is Delta. Okay, kind of on the yellow line there, I think. Could go a little faster. I'll give it a little bit because I don't want to wait forever. Lose my license. I still have the steering wheel conduits with the throttle. Bring it back. I hope you wrote that all down. Put it back to 5. Yeah, I'm going to need a bit of brakes. It's going crazy fast. Yeah, if I was really clever, I could manage this turn with just the engines. Let's see. That should require more engines to speed up, so it kind of gets messed up. A little bit of brake here. really clever, I can stop just short of that line. Just by the entrance. Okay. So normally the flight engineer would mess with stuff. I'm going to turn you back on. You should be turning the cowl flaps now to like take off the cowl flaps, which might be, I don't know, about 25% or something. Like on the B-17, it's about 30.
Yes, sir.
So I'm turning the flight engineer back on. Let him do his thing for a second. I'm going to turn on my landing lights if you need that. For takeoff too. Stand the landing lights and turn them on. Okay. Oh, I guess he's not doing any checks. Okay. Now I'm going to call the tower. Official flight rules, takeoff.
Toronto Tower, locking on the lookout, Tango Delta Alpha at runway 6, flag ready for takeoff, party entering out. Locking on the lookout, Tango Delta Alpha, cleared for takeoff, runway 6, left, straight of departure, approved. Cleared for takeoff, runway 6, left, locking Tango Delta Alpha.
And everybody be looking to see if any planes are landing, but I'm not going to do that because it's just going to mess up my view course. No, I wouldn't think. Where are you going? Nobody's landing. Aha, you're safe. Maybe I'll use the mouse to straighten up the way. It's not going to let it get too fast because then it's too hard to turn. Okay, we'll bring in what's engine number 4 and a little bit of brake to get started turning here. That's pretty good. So the right way to do it is tap on the brakes a little bit. Down the engine number 4. Don't want to go too fast here. Use up the runway. Okay. And straightening up. Bring both of them up now. Slow down a little bit. Now bring them both down. Go number 1 a little bit. Now bring them both up. It's a long stop. Kind of lined up there. You're supposed to roll your plane a little bit and straighten up the wheels, front wheel. Okay, so now flight engineer will be doing stuff and whatever else. Now I'm going to put on full brakes, and you get up to 30 to 40 inches manifold, and then you let go, and then you take off. And I got to remember that's 97%, 96 is probably the most I can use. Brakes are full on. There we go. Notice how the nose strut is going down, right? You don't leave it like this for very long because the engines will overheat. Okay. 1 notch flaps. Forgot that. And now if everything was working Betty or something become Betty, okay, you got to get ready.
We're rolling.
A little touch on the rotor here. I'm going to bring it up.
Setting cowl flaps.
50.
Okay, that's probably about the most I can handle.
80.
Too many things I'm looking at, I can't watch, but that's not too bad. Got to counteract the propellers with the rotor. If the propellers are not making the plane, change direction. Okay. Passing rate of climb, so now I'm going to bring our heavy season to bring up the here.
You're up.
Okay, now bring up the flaps.
Flaps up.
Okay, flaps back wheel. And now we
Setting cow flaps.
front leg to the green area. Right, not what to see. And now I'm going to bring the propeller up and down to the green area with the pilot switch. Okay.
Pressurization set.
Plan with the trim.
Setting cow flaps.
Okay, if you hear the footage, you're going crazy. You need to set the propellers, make sure they're all the same RPM. I'm going to put this in cruise. So 30 inches, down to 30, down to 30. That'll change as you go up higher, you hear this now. That's about right. 30, bring that 2200 RPM. That's about right, so we're in cruise mode now. Okay, now I'm going to try to fly by the tower. $2,200 RPM, 30 inches. I'm going a bit faster, so it's not a bit. That's what I'm going. 32 inches.
Captain, we're approaching 260.
Yeah, that's the closest I can do, right? Let me trim a little bit. There we go. You're saying what's this crazy guy doing? Oh no, here he comes. I tried to do something cool like turn. Now I'm a little bit high, so I'll get a good look at me. A little bit too close. There we go, I'm turning. A little bit of rudder. Hope I don't smack into the ground. I'm going to go up just in case. A little tiny bit. See their rudders there. See how they move a little tiny bit? Straighten them out. There we go. Anyway, I think I'm sort of straight. Probably climbing like crazy. Just push down a little bit. You need a lot of practice to do this. Especially like when I was taking off, that was crazy. I was all over the runway. Got to get used to how the engines push the plane to the left, or sometimes they'll push it to the right. There we go. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah. Hey, put up some kind of bit, so I'm up too fast. pause and bring over my map. You can see we're going almost due west, 260, 270 will be west. Georgetown's up this way somewhere, but I'd have to follow the Credit River. I followed it and I used Google Maps one time and I flew right over your house. And somebody used the toilet. Nah, they didn't really. I hope not. Okay, and then if I look at crew reports, you can see look, one of our engines is a little hot. So let's go over there and look at that. See, 241, see? Where's that? There you go. It's 242 on engine number 3. That's not too bad, you know. And the flight engineer would open up the cowl flaps to keep it nice. And you can see, look, I'll turn this off. See how the synchros just barely moved? So he was after setting that up. And all the other temperatures and stuff are not too bad. Right? They're like in the green for the oil. That's the main ones. Oil pressure, all that. Okay. That's how you fly that. Now I'm just going to put on the here's the controls. All this stuff is just for the Sperry autopilot, the old-fashioned autopilot. So I'm going to turn that on. You get these 3 guys and you pull them down. But first, I'll set the elevator control up a little bit. Track 4. So 1, 2, 3. Now we're set at 0 degrees, so we're going to turn north.
Pressurization set.
That's the engineer. That's the airport there, so. Okay, so we're just off the air traffic control. I can't dial in on this, the old-fashioned Sperry autopilot. You can't tell it all 500 feet per minute off or 1,000. You just got to play with these. Then as you go faster and slower, it's going to change. Look at that, we're coming up now. Far out, right? And then we're back from far down. Okay, so I want to dial 500 feet per minute up, I can't do it. I just have to guess, right? Maybe 6 of it. And then that make it slow down and find it, so then you need more rudder or more elevator. Right? So it's just a lot of guessing. Once you got it all set up, it's pretty smooth, right? I want to go right now from 0 north. I want to go this way. Here's my mouse wheel. I'm going to go 330, let's say, that's Georgetown. That's probably Brandon Airport there. Wouldn't be too surprised. 330. I think it is. Now the pilot's turning. You can play with these knobs and see how fast it goes. That's good. So nobody uses these anymore, but that, back in 1946, that was the best thing. Autopilot. I think we're all cramped. I mean, you can see there's no cramp in there. It's just grass.
Send cowl flaps.
Maybe that's supposed to be cramped and that's still bad. Alright. Plus, I have to turn things down because my computer video card sucks. So who knows what's going on. Thinking I might be heading towards Georgetown. Anyway, oh yeah, look, you can see KLM Holland as well. See how the flight engineer got the cowl flaps. Okay, that was fun. going on in this guy? Why is he doing that to me? Go back to OBS Studio. Okay. Yeah, alright. So, hopefully I won't sound like a chipmunk or lots of echoes or you can barely hear me. Hopefully this time it's going to work. Okay, so stop recording. And I actually had to call Nan back. She called me earlier. Okay, so goodbye. I hope you get some idea what it was like to fly the old planes, and when you're flying a propeller plane, some of the things are going to be, even on the new planes, are going to be a little bit similar. Okay, that's the only thing I know how to fly is old planes. I guess because I'm an old guy. Okay, goodbye.